people are really starting to get on the Elias Peterson train. And there's a reason for this. Swedish outlets are talking about how Peterson he's the best 18-year-old in the SHL since Peter Forsberg. And for the most part, that's not a bad comparison if you take a look at the statistics. Now, Elias Peterson, he was born in 1998. So, he was a year earlier than the kids who turn 18 this year. However, he was born in November of that year, so that's why he was eligible for this year's draft. If you go onto the SHL statistics, you search it by best seasons by kids under 19, so you get the 18-year-olds, it doesn't work, because Elias Peterson's turning 19 this year, he counts as a 19-year-old for this team. However, if you take a look at the SHL as a league, you search it by best seasons, by kids under 19, it's not going to work because he counts as a 19-year-old. However, if you search by under 20, he's third in points per game. He's got 15 points in 13 games right now. He wrapped things up with, I think it was an assist in the most previous game for the Vax Joe Lakers. However, the only two players that have a higher points per game rate in the under 20 category in terms of SHL seasons are Kent Nilsson. He had 54 points in 36 games as a 19-year-old, and Peter Forsberg. He had 48 points in 39 games as a 19-year-old as well. Elias Peterson today is an 18-year-old, but by the end of this year, by the end of the linear year, he's going to be 19, so he counts as a 19-year-old in this season. But still, it's not just us Canucks fans sitting here talking about, oh, Elias Peterson is good. Elias Peterson's going to be fantastic. He's going to be the next Naslund. It's not just us high schooler Canucks fans over here, us normies living our normal lives every day, just doing random things, thinking once in a while, I wonder how the Canucks are doing. Nah. These are the Swedish media. These are the Swedish media men talking about how this 18-year-old kid is the best 18-year-old kid since one of the best Swedish hockey players of all time, if not the best, Peter Forsberg. So, what does that mean for us? What does that mean? It means that we are comparing Elias Peterson, who we just drafted recently, to Peter Forsberg. And, you know, it's something to get excited about. It's not all of us random Canucks fans on Twitter saying it, it's the top guys in Sweden who know their Swedish hockey. Sweden takes hockey very seriously because they're always having good games and good prospects coming out of there. So it's such a big deal for them, for those guys to be saying, yeah, he's the best since Forsberg. What does that mean for the Canucks? Well, it means that we got a fantastic prospect on our hands now, don't we? However, there is kind of a little bit of a disclaimer here, because from what I've seen, Elias Peterson is primarily a winger on that Vax Joe Lakers team. So, if he's going to step into that number one center role that the Canucks kind of want him to be, he's going to have to spend a little bit more time developing than others because he has to go through that position switch. He has to become that center because right now he's a left winger. I believe it's a left winger. Yeah, it's a left winger. So, things play out how they should play out, then he spends, I don't know, a season on the left wing in the Vax Joe Lakers camp. He spends another season with the Vax Joe Lakers, maybe as a center. Then he comes over to Utica, plays a center there, and then he becomes an NHLer. No one knows if that's going to be how his development goes, but it's an ideal situation, especially considering the fact that Elias Peterson, well, he's only 18 right now. He's got so much time to work through these things. If he spends this season in Vax Joe, the next season in Vax Joe, the next season in Utica, then that means by the time he's 22, he's with the Canucks. So, that's great. It's not even just Elias Peterson's playing well for the Vax Joe Lakers, no. This kid's being scouted for Team Sweden on the Olympics. Forget the World Juniors, this guy might be going to the Olympics as an 18-year-old. That's incredible. That is absolutely mind-boggling to think that this 18, turning 19-year-old kid who is a Canucks prospect, has a strong showing, and he might be going to the Olympics. Save the World Juniors, folks. We knew he was going to tear up the World Juniors, but let's see how he'll be able to tear up the Olympics. Because his expectations here, coming into the SHL, playing for the Vaxjo Lakers, people are like, yeah, okay, he's going to be a good player. Let's see. Just watch how he develops, because his last season with the Timrå and Allsvenskan with 41 points in 43 games, that's good, you know. Allsvenskan is not the highest level of hockey in Sweden, so it's alright. But he's going to the SHL this year. Let's see how he'll perform with the big dogs of Sweden. And he's up there, 5th in league scoring, 15 points in 13 games, and he's only getting stronger as the season goes on. Elias Pettersson, fan-freaking-tastic. This kid's potential is going through the roof as we're speaking. So many people releasing more statements about this kid, talking about the draft, talking about this guy's got skill. If he was 20 pounds heavier, he would have gone first. If he was 20 pounds heavier, we don't know if he would have gone first because, well, his shear was still pretty darn good. But the fact that there's an actual argument to saying that Elias Pettersson is quote-unquote a franchise player, that's exciting. I don't want to say generational talent, because the only generational talent we've had recently was basically Connor McDavid. You could try to argue about Austin Matthews, but generational talents, franchise players are not really the same. Franchise players, you know, the Sedins, they're the absolute superstars of Vancouver 7 years ago. These guys were franchise players, faces of the franchise. And Elias Pettersson, my goodness, if he's going to be as good, if not better than Forsberg, then that means that he's at the level of a Marcus Naslund, maybe even exceeding the level of a Marcus Naslund. I'm not here trying to get you guys excited about Elias Pettersson, because we all know that Elias Pettersson's going to be really gosh darn good. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, not gaming, and bye.